And you got your dinosaur internet over in Michigan. Keeps dying, you know? Oh no. Someone's DDoSing you. No. Wrecked Magazine is DDoSing you. That's what's going on. Yep.
DDoSing? The hell is that?
Yeah, whatever.
Dinosaur, damn. Whew.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep, the MacBook, you know. Yeah,
Yeah.
you gotta love it. Nope, it won't. Don't even try. Don't even try. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
No, you're good. Oh. There is a little X on something on your name there.
I'm back. Right?
I
Classic
don't know.
Nate.
Classic.
There is something broken in Streamlabs behind the scenes. Let me know,
Yeah,
guys.
Streamlabs, what do you expect?
Dude, it's worked so good for like a long time. Crazy how Herb just shows up when he wants. Oh man. Can you guys hear me first of all in the chat? That's the first thing I want to know. Cause or I could do a quick test. I think it's the same thing where I just have to reconnect the mic. But
Pat Gooden's just asking,
we're
what's
good.
the name of the street corner that has the live stream? I feel like that's a typo right now.
Name of a street corner?
I think he meant stream service, maybe. I don't know what he...
It's
that one dinosaur
Streamlabs.
texting another here.
Oh, where did Brian go?
Nope, he's gone. He's gone. He went to go say he's doing Pat Gooden's stream now.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
He's out of here.
It's all good.
Yep.
Oh, you know, this isn't a professional production, that's for sure. As we get it actually
Herbie
started,
is on strike with the union. That's what he's doing. He's on strike, trying to get unionized.
He wanted a raise, and I told him, buddy, I don't even know what to tell you. Hopefully Brian hops back on here in a sec, and we can actually talk about it.
Hops back on. I'm making a lot of those jokes tonight. All right, that's just happening.
I know, dude.
I have to buy a new computer because my hard drive took a shit. Guys, get on an SSD. Don't be on a hard drive. It's 2025.
You're on a hard drive?
Like on my gaming computer? Yes, it is 10 years old and it is on its last leg. It takes me 5 minutes to join an Aceto server, so that's awesome.
Good old wonderful. Apple products, I'm telling you, man. They work.
Yeah. Where did Brian hop go? He hopped out of here. What do you know?
I told him to
He needs to hop back in.
Saying stream not found now. Oh, that's because he has he has the old link. That's why. Because we had to change links for you.
All right, my bad. That's on me. Yeah, mine was failed to connect.
Yeah, that would make sense actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I changed it to get you back on.
Probably didn't have to. I just had to hop on the laptop. But
yeah, you just had to have a working computer. All right, guys. As he gets back on here, obviously we got a lot to talk about. A lot going on in the world of drifting. Probably the biggest drift event of the year this weekend. Definitely by numbers. I mean, you can't really compete. I don't think anything competes with Drift Masters Poland
really
in terms
can't.
of a single event.
Nope.
And I mean, the spectacle that you see and all that kind of stuff. Like, dude, I'm so excited for it.
Yep. I am too. I wish I was going, but is what it is, you know. Other things I'm trying to travel to this year, so kind of took the back burner. But
Right. And with I wanted to really go really bad too, but it's not cheap to quite make it out to Poland these days.
yeah, no, it's probably. I think it was like I was looking at flights like $700 round trip, which honestly isn't terrible. You know.
That's actually really cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
He wants
I may
me.
be completely wrong. It may be 1,700. No, like $1,000 from Atlanta to Poland, one stop. Huh. Not bad.
All right. He wants me to send it to an email, so we'll get Brian Hop on here in a sec.
Send it to an email.
I know,
Good
dude.
Lord.
We're going back in time for Brian, so it's all good.
Yeah. Actually, I found a Delta flight Atlanta to Warsaw. $633 round trip. Does have one stop, 1 hour in Paris, and then on the way back, 1 hour in Amsterdam. But that's not bad. That is like surprising, especially for flying to a different continent and pretty deep into a continent too. You know.
Yeah. We'll get this stream going in a sec here. I feel like the title of this stream though is a little clickbaity, but also I feel like it brings up a very interesting point, and we'll probably get into who would you have in a World Cup represent, what countries, and all that kind of stuff. It's a very fun conversation, I think.
Wouldn't the FIA International Drifting
Yeah,
whatever
but like
thing
Americans
be
have never
a
gone
World Cup?
there, and like I don't know.
Yeah.
There's it misses a lot of drivers, I feel like.
Yeah.
So to me it's not like an actual like, and plus they're they struck my channel, so I'm also impartial to them.
Yeah,
when we tried to watch their show, which granted, I mean Driftmasters would do the same thing, but I understand because theirs is on a special different platform. So, but welcome back, Brian. All right, Brian. For
welcome
those
back.
that don't know Brian, well, my first question actually to you is, how do you pronounce your last name and what planet is it from?
Hoplamazian is like the American way to say it, I guess. You could also, it's Armenian. Okay. The Armenian way to actually say it is Hoplamazian, but Hoplamazian is the Americanized way.
That's amazing. I mean, it cracks me up every time I see it. I'm like, oh yeah, I forget it's not his last name is not Hop, because everyone just knows you by that, you know.
Yeah. There's a whole lot more letters to go after HOP.
That's great, dude. Quick rundown on where you're from and what you drive, real quick, and that, and just a little bit, like, I don't know, 2 minutes about you, real quick.
Yeah, cool. I'm from like suburbs right outside of Philly, 20 minutes outside of Philly, near like Villanova University. Born, raised there, currently live there still. Kind of boring, don't move around much in regard to where I live. And then about me, outside of drifting, I run a family business. It's construction related. We do landscaping, excavation, and then we make organic waste like mulch, topsoil, all that kind of stuff. And then been into motorsports like my whole life. I was always kind of more leaning towards stuff with engines over like regular soccer, football, baseball, those kinds of things. Yeah. So I rode dirt bikes all through my youth, and then kind of got heavy into cars right when I got my license, or maybe a little before. And drifting kind of like was the next best thing to dirt bikes and motocross, and it just naturally kind of like fell in line with me.
I feel like it's less painful than that.
Yeah. I had like a broken collarbone and some ribs and stuff, and then I was like, never going to make it big in motocross because there's just a bunch of people that were like born, bred, and molded to be pros in that. So I kind of saw my chance to maybe have a little more fun without hurting myself, and also maybe a little more success in a motorsport, aka drifting. Plus, I just thought the cars were sick, and back then I was huge, like, turbo noise enthusiast type kid. So I always wanted.
You're pretty much.
Not
It's
anymore.
funny if you look at your car now. You're just
anymore.
anti-power adders. Well, I guess unless you count nitrous, which is technically a power adder.
Yeah, nitrous is, and I'm not anti-power adder at all. I'm sure I had an A90 Super up until the beginning of this recent year.
Mm-hmm.
I love turbo cars. My heart always goes. It will always be with them, but there's no denying, the performance capabilities of a good V8.
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah,
and yours sounds particularly well. I would say very good.
I always try and make sure I don't have that like tractor sounding LS.
Yeah.
That was one of the big things when Wilkerson was building my car. I was like, we have to make this thing sound as unique or as badass as possible, and he certainly made that happen. It was like unreal when we heard that thing in the dyno for the first time a few years back. It was sick.
That's cool. And yeah, I mean, this car's been, for those of you that don't know, it's the S13 in the background right now. But this has been a couple years running with this car to kind of get to Formula D Pro Spec.
Yeah. It's had its small like changes over the years, but for the most part, the bones of it have been the same. Y-strap suspension, BC coils, and then the engine is a Dart 427. The compression has changed over the years. It's been increasing over the years, I should say. And then aside from changing that and like the cam, and now we have nitrous and stuff, for the most part, it's been between a 600 to 800 horsepower car. Link ECU its whole life.
Yeah.
It's
a beautiful car. I mean,
thank you. Try. I love that 13.
Dude.
When was it built? How long has it been around for?
All right, so let's see. This is I think this is my third or fourth season drifting it. Let's see. We're in 25. I'm pretty sure we finished building it like 22. But I really didn't start driving it till 23. Like we had maybe a test day or something before winter hit in 22.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was all black. It was cool.
Yeah, my cars before that were of nowhere near that caliber. Like, OEM based. I had S13s, all of them, but like I had a VQ with pretty much stock power before that, and I had some high power SR cars and stuff, but I never broke that 500 horsepower range. I was really just like a momentum driver for the majority of my grassroots drifting.
That's cool, man.
That's cool. That's cool to hear. Most people are straight to big power and just like to, blow off tires, line them off. So hearing this momentum, that's good. Good foundation of things,
Good foundation. I think I hung around too long with that low power hero drifting. There's definitely some guys that did it a little quicker than me that have maybe some things that come more natural to them in their driving and like what they have in their wheelhouse. But I feel myself progress. The reason for all this, like going from low horsepower and not too much competing and stuff over the 15, 16 years I've been drifting to now full on competition build and stuff, is just to challenge myself, actually like grow instead of stay stagnant and plateau with my skill set.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you've actually done a couple really cool events lately. You did the Legends of Drift, I believe, correct?
Yeah. Yep.
So before we get to LSFest, because obviously that was a really good event for you, I want to quick hit Legends of the Drift. What was it like going to that? From the outside looking in, it looked like an LZ World Tour, just with some extra cameras. But kind of curious on thoughts on the Legends of Drift and kind of what Sung was doing.
Yeah, so without going into too much detail, because I'm pretty sure out of the hundreds of pieces of paper I signed, I'm sure one of them says to stay quiet about some stuff. But
Right. Yeah.
basically, they wanted to do some form of world tour, bring in a big crowd, and get some filming done for a movie that Sung was. It sounds to me that it was of his idea or him and a few other guys, and um, yeah, so we showed up. We got to before the comp or even the crowd was there, be involved in some of this filming, and I'm hopeful that my car and my face get put somewhere somehow into that. And then they had a top 16. Was it? I don't think we did a 32. We did a top 16 comp.
Yeah.
With they packed the stadium. It was sick. I'm pretty sure they might have beat the spectator numbers that FD had at
Wow.
E-Town that weekend.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was in the brown car, my grassroots coupe,
Yeah.
just because my other car was on its way to Utah the whole time I was drifting at E-Town. But
Right.
I did my best to have a competitive car. There were some killer cars there.
100%. No, that's really cool though. I mean, it was a cool thing that he's doing, and I was super bummed I couldn't make it out, but
yeah,
it was, I'm curious to see, because there really hasn't been I don't know, there hasn't really been a professionally made drifting movie that I can think of.
I mean, Tokyo Drift is what everyone loves
but it's
to use.
It's not drifting though, like how it actually is. So
right.
That's what I'm curious to see, if this video actually, or this movie actually shows what real drifting is more.
Yeah.
Like, because obviously there was a lot of show business with Tokyo Drift, and there's a lot of things in that movie where you're like, that's not quite how that works, but okay. But yeah, no, obviously Tokyo Drift is the pinnacle of drifting movies. Obviously you got the popular anime as well, but
yeah, I'm hopeful that this takes a more realistic approach. Just from the little bit I was involved with being there that weekend. Because
drifting's so cool.
Yeah, right.
In real life too, you don't have to movie it up, I feel like, to make it
for sure
that cool. Especially with kind of the stuff that people do nowadays. It's incredible. And kind of moving into the next event that you went to was, well, not the next event you went to, because you went to Utah after that, but we'll get to the
we can skip Utah if you want.
Yeah, we'll go to we'll go to the FD side later. Like, we'll hit FD, don't worry, because I got a bunch of stuff I want to talk about FD.
I'm sure Brandon does too. He's part of what we like to call the peanut gallery.
The peanut gallery. There we go.
There we go. And I'm gonna quick share the screen so we can show everyone else what's going on with you guys as well. So it just takes me a minute to show you guys. Yeah, you got second at LSFest, and it did not look like an easy crowd to win against.
No, I don't think there was any easy side to the bracket once you qualified. I know for me, I went against like every walk of life just to get into the Final Four. I had two killer grassroots drivers. One kid was 16 years old, this like ripper out of I think he's from Atlanta, but he's a big drift Indy driver. And then after 16, it was, a prospect driver, then Dirk Stratton after that. And then I had to go against the infamous Taylor Hall. And there was not an easy battle, that's for sure. And we had weather kind of like lingering around. So like qualifying, it was patchy. Top 32, it was wet. 16, it was finally dry, and we got a dry full top 16, which was great for at least. I love driving in the rain, so it actually would have been possibly an advantage for me.
Right.
Not that I needed more of one, because I seem to really click with that course layout, but
right.
It threw a lot of guys for a loop, and you really have to just, I don't know, maybe it's something with drifting at E-Town a lot, and when it rains there and it stays puddled for the rest of the day, you have to have your timing on point to just be gripped up in some sections and slide around in others over puddles. But I definitely threw a lot of people for a loop.
Yeah. As a drifter going to LSFest, what is it like for you?
It's I mean, I could say it about a lot of things I've been doing lately, but these kinds of events with those with that magnitude of fans, it's like a little surreal. You pull in there, and you're not just there to be like a spectator to what I'm passionate about, like cars and big companies that support aftermarket car enthusiasts and stuff. Like I'm actually part of the show now, which is crazy to me, and it's like a blessing. It's sick because you just get to realize, even if you're, I don't, it's hard to put into words a little bit, but the things that I'm doing that I can now like call routine, like drift at a competition and qualify in top 10 and stuff like that, to other people, it's still like unobtainable. Like they're just so mesmerized by the fact that these cars actually exist, function, and like can be controlled by someone like me. So it's pretty cool to like be a part of it and not just be there as like on the sidelines.
Yeah, my experience with LSFest always in the past is I'll walk through the you call it the venue area, but there's all kinds of stuff, and you're just like, an LS fits in that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
I literally, one of my impulse buys was one of those things. There was an LS swap Nissan Xterra, and I bought it, and I was like, I kind of need this, and it was actually probably, I had it for a couple years, sold it for the same amount pretty much that I bought it for, so I didn't lose any money, but it was also completely useless. Didn't do anything good, but it was just one of those things where I'm like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It was
I'm
a
trying to think what the most
and
unique
everything,
thing.
but it's like, I remember seeing the Porsches there, and there's just all kinds of cool stuff.
Some of the they have like a big, huge burnout competition there, and some of those cars are just insane. Like the Pro Chargers or whatever, not Pro Chargers. I guess they're just superchargers
Big
that
old
are blowers or
superchargers.
whatever.
Yeah.
They're like taller than the roof of the cars they're in and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah. No, it's a whole lot of people compensating is what it is, but no, it's like you said, it's really mind opening. If you've never been to an LS Fest, I would recommend going, just because
100%.
What you see there is, because I think it gives you a good idea of the automotive industry in general, because there is a little bit of everything there.
Oh yeah.
And you see every avenue of it, whether it's road racing, autocross, drag racing, drifting, like it's all there. Off-road, like
off-road.
It's such a cool event to display the automotive industry as a whole. And the fact that it's all one engine are basically a version of another engine as well. Like LT and LS are basically the same. They are different, but they're also the same.
I'm sure there was a few LTs out there that
they
posing as LSs, for sure.
But no, it's a really cool event, and I was a bummer I couldn't make it this year, but it's cool. And like I said, the drivers that I saw there, it looked like a freaking stacked field.
Yeah, man.
And congrats to Taylor. He's doing a very interesting way of dabbling in other sports now with I think it's dirt track stuff, and then he'll come in and do some random comps, and good to see.
He's a solid driver. There's he's got
he's got his own things going on, but
he's got a pass for sure.
Yeah. But he hasn't completely thrown away drifting yet, which obviously he's good enough for him to probably keep doing this,
And I could say, I hit him probably about 15 times in my chase lap in the finals, and he didn't do what everyone thinks he would do, which is take his hands off the wheel and let the spin happen. He finished his lap, so give him props on that. He let it. He won an honest way.
Yeah, and props to him for having a creative car. I'm pretty sure it's a Corvette underneath, if I remember.
It is.
It's his pro car, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but it's a pretty unique thing that it fits him, so it makes sense, And shout out to Dirk also for getting third place. It still might be one of my favorite cars in drifting of all time.
I love that car.
Is his car.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because
his whole team, they're just awesome, and that car is like a straight up rocket ship. I had to really like take a educated approach to trying to get one over on him because he was on Valino
Yep.
285 08R S's. So
Yeah.
that's like
He likes to go
the
fast.
that's the grippiest tire probably there. And I had to time like because you have Nick Swan, he's doing hands.
Oh
There's
yeah.
no light to tree or anything,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you have to like. I had to guess what Nick's natural tendencies are with when he's going to drop his hands and roll the start and stuff. It was not an easy battle win for sure with
No.
him. He is a really good, consistent, and fast driver.
Dude, he
Yeah,
makes drifting almost boring
Yeah.
sometimes with how smooth he is.
yeah, he's like robotic. Yeah,
It's crazy, you know. And he's one of those guys that I always wondered because I feel like I saw such a drastic improvement after clutch kickers with him that I always wish he would waited to go to FD until like now
yeah,
because he's an absolute animal now behind the wheel. But compared to when
yep.
he was in FD, where he was really good at leads, but his chases would always be the thing that would be, hold him back in the pro field. So
I can relate. I know how that feels.
yeah, well, I mean, everyone's got to learn though, and that's kind of the whole idea behind pro spec is you got to learn, and
Yep.
I everyone's rookie year, almost everyone's rookie year, unless your name's like Dylan Hughes and Travis Reeder. I feel
Adam
like
LZ, I think, did really well his rookie year pro spec.
yeah, but like
Yeah.
majority of everyone that comes in is a challenge. For like we saw drastic improvements from Adam Heischman this year. Stewart, I thought had a huge improvement from his rookie season.
Yep.
There was another guy I'm not thinking off the top of my head that did really good compared to his rookie season last year. But like, it's actually incredible seeing how drivers jump, and I am just kind of curious, what is it like coming to Formula D as a rookie, and everything that comes with that? Because you've been drifting for a long time, so it's not like drifting is new to you. It's not even like drifting competitions is necessarily new with you. But
Yeah.
FD is just different somehow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would say competition drifting, it's not new to me by any means, but being the driver, I'm only about 3-4 years into my competitive
Yeah.
portion of my driving. And the biggest change from FD to like grassroots or pro am comps is there's a couple things, but the biggest ones I noticed were there's a lot of hurry up and wait, and the pressure is always on when you're in FD because the crowd's bigger. The competition is everyone who was good in pro am in their area and killed it. They're now in the same place, and we're all now the killers from our local area. So it's not like you have a leg up on anyone's driver skill. They're all within hairs of each other skill wise, and there's just a lot more to manage outside of the car in regard to logistics, getting to the track, being there with the right spares, making sure your hot pit is set up, making sure, you know, I could go on listing stuff, but you get it. Like at Pro Am, it's a little more simple. You show up with a proper car, you got a couple buddies, maybe a serious team that's helping you. But then you don't have like a ton of eyes on you. There's no autograph signing to worry about getting to. And you're not rubbing elbows with people that are considered the best in the world, even if you're not competing against them and they're in Pro One. It's still intimidating is one way to put it, or just like overwhelming. And I did take a little bit of that for granted. I thought, hey man, every time you go to a comp, you're in grade 8 or final 4. Which to say that you're not going to do the same in FD, like bring the same mental prep that you had in your past to FD. And I quickly learned like halfway through Atlanta, I was like, this is a different ball game. And not that I wasn't completely unprepared,
Would
but
that be your welcome to FD moment?
do I remember it?
Well,
Yeah.
no. Well, I was gonna say, is that your welcome to FD moment? Atlanta.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was. And it was me struggling to do a course that on paper I should have been wildly successful with because it's just like a fast, not easy. There is technical portions of Atlanta, but it should have been something I was more successful with than I was. I was struggling in places that I shouldn't have, in my opinion. So, and I do attribute that to the mental side of getting in the car, getting in your zone, getting a checklist going that once you go from entry to finish line, you can check those boxes and keep moving forward with your lap. And if you're not thinking clearly enough, you're never going to get to that point.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I mean, it's hard to explain to people that side of it, because they'll go and they'll watch Pro Spec and they'll see guys like messing up and stuff, and they're just like, did these guys just not learn how to drive before coming here? And it's not the case, but it is hard to explain to people the challenges that comes to getting that next level.
Yeah.
And is why for me, when I see a driver that I know can drive really well go to Pro Spec and then struggle, what it does is it actually gives me even more respect for the pro drivers that I see just rip every lap during each other. And it's just like, how do you become that? Because that it's a leap, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool to see though. But speaking of pro drivers, and I'm actually going to bring up a little picture here. Where is it? There it is. So this is what I kind of assume it is like to drive your car. Now I get it, you're dropping a tire and that's why you're doing a wheelie right here, but you got your car set up by the infamous Chelsea Denofa this year, and there's been a lot of debate on whether or not that helped or hurt you. Obviously you can make your case. I know Brennan and I have talked about where your car looks, it's extremely fast, but I would argue it's harder to drive, which in turn isn't necessarily the most important thing. Well, being fast isn't necessarily, in my opinion, being fast is not necessarily the most important thing in Pro Spec. Because I feel like you can win the majority of battles in Pro Spec in your lead lap.
Right.
But I'm
as
curious
long
to
as you
hear
have
kind
your
of what you
chase.
see. Yeah.
Let's hear what you got to say, Brandon, Peanut Gallery Master.
No, Alex and James are the peanut gallery master. I'm in the tower doing my job.
You're in the shadows.
Yeah, I'm in the shadows. I mean, yeah, I can to relate, I guess, and to give some personal, I guess, relatability to it. Like Alex, all since Atlanta last year in 24, he's been struggling a lot with just getting through the track. And the big thing we did last year was he won the car as fast as possible all the time, kill, whatever. And he would mess up in either the lead or the chase by flying off track. Same thing happened in Atlanta. Me and his crew chief were like, look, let's just take everything out of it and just make it as simple to drive as possible. Yeah. And that led to 2 back-to-back grade 8s. And then in Utah, we went back to trying to make it faster. And then it kind of bit us in the butt because he couldn't lay down a lead because he was driving out of the zones and got lost in 32. So I do agree with Nate where, like Pro Spec, it's definitely a level up from Pro-Am. But if you're able to be consistent and have a car, it's easier said than done. Having a balance between where you need to be fast, where, if you need to have a little bit of surge in the car, that is there. But for the most part, you can lay down just not super fast, just nice, consistent lead runs, that sort of thing. I know some people like Cole Richards, he grips the shit out of his car and just goes everywhere and makes it work. But I think that bit him in the butt a little bit in Utah as well, which made him lose in 32 and ultimately made him lose the championship. But yeah,
it's a lot of
gallery.
There's so much give and take with car setup in regard to you need to be fast. You have to be. You will get rolled on if you have a car that's super easy and consistent and simple. And then if you have it to no one is driving their car at its 100% of its capability speed wise.
Yeah.
If you're somewhere dabbling around that 80% range, that car is not easy to drive, and it exposes every little mistimed input or mistake you make. Usually it's, for me, in a blaze of glory of flying off track or something, unfortunately. But The problem is people want to blame Chelsea for my, learning year. And in reality, me and Chelsea have been working together now for a full season, but we went into this year only having done a couple practice days together and last year's LSFest. So it wasn't much in regard to like me and him communicating car setup during an event. And then I found myself showing up with a car that was incredible, fast, not necessarily the easiest thing to drive, but it also wasn't as difficult as maybe the live stream is making people think. And I don't know. I think I have some learning to do in the way I communicate what I need out of a car. Like I'll take Atlanta for example. I kept blaming myself, saying, "No, I just need like to get this down. I just need to figure out how to like extend up the hill to get into the what do they call that? The corkscrew
keyhole.
Keyhole. Thank you. And instead, I should have been like, "Hey, I don't like how this car steers," and then we could have gotten into that conversation. Because come to find out, after the event, we were going to do grid life. We had not enough pressure coming off of the power steering pump going in the steering rack, making the steering pretty stiff, making my timing off. So of course, the car looks incredibly hard to drive, but nobody else is driving the car other than me. So from the sidelines, Chelsea's just trying to coach me through, hey, you're off, your timing's off on your transition, you're lighting off late here, so on and so forth. And in reality, I should be responding with like, I don't like how this car's steering, or something's wrong with how the wheel's feeling for me. That one little miscommunication is what ruined our first event. And then Jersey, I think we had a great event. It just sucks that I got second in seating. Yeah. And then I go against Cole Richards, who ends up winning the event. We had a Final Four battle in 32. So I left Jersey really kind of happy and proud and thinking we're on the right track. And St. Louis, I don't really know. It was tough. I will keep going back and defending Chelsea by saying it's my own mental prep that needs the work, because it's not like he's sitting there on the other side of in the spotters tower telling me like, no, you need to run this setup. He's there saying like, okay, what are you feeling and what do you think needs to change? What I see is this, but let me hear from you. And I'm like, we usually get the car pretty well sorted by the time seating comes and such, but there's still just a lot to go off of and learn. And honestly, that's where LSFest, I think finally things started to actually show all the work and all the things I've learned and taken away from this season, even though it doesn't result-wise show success. I was able to utilize a lot of the things I've learned and done with what I did in LSFest. I started off with Chelsea's setup. I kept what he wanted for the majority of the car, and I only changed minor things for my front shock settings. I basically turned a few knobs up on the shocks, a little different from what he suggested, and it was purely off of what I felt I needed by driving the car, and I ended up having a car that went to the finals. So the momentum is there if I keep at it with some practice in the off season and working with Chelsea more to, I think, go into Prospect next year, like being a problem for and a big contender for the field.
There you go. I mean,
yeah,
nice.
And sounds pretty well practiced, doesn't it?
Well, I mean, it's the thing is it's like, because I think it's because you have a lot of friends that know you can drive, and that. But I feel like that's with a lot of people that come into Prospect. Not gonna lie, and they're like, "Dude, I've seen you drive. What's going on?" You know, and it is a learning curve because, like you said, you've never driven anything this fast before.
Right, and plus, people see, hey, you can drive. It's like, yeah, okay, we're at Drift Appalachia or somewhere like that. And this is really hard to do. And my consequences are flying off a mountain. But I'm like laughing. I'm kind of thinking about like what we're going to do tonight. And I don't have any pressure or zones to fill. I just have to survive my lap. And we get to like tandem with my boys and we're in 450 horsepower cars or less. And then you go to FD and it's like, I don't know this guy. He's in front of me. He's one of my 5 practice laps I'm going to get, and I have to door him and figure out this track with 850 horsepower right now, or I'm going to look like a fool. It's like a totally different scenario that affects mine and many others driving outside of skill set.
100%. And
yeah,
100%.
It is always the fun challenge, and I will always bring this up, and I don't mean this to be a dig at S13s, but do you think you have to compensate for the lack of the lack of chassis grip from an S13 compared to other chassis with tire pressure and other things to make it that harder to drive, or do you think it's you think S13s are still going to be just as competitive as any other chassis? I'm just curious. I'm not trying to rain on your parade of like because your car is amazing, but
no, I get it. So in reality, E36 is probably the superior chassis to most, maybe all, in drifting, just because of its, you have a trailing arm and everything else that goes into how that car is built OEM suspension wise. But within the rules of Pro Spec, you're able to do things with the rear of the car and the front, thanks to WiseFab and their front rack setup, to make that car competitive without being difficult to drive. It can. There's not a car out in the field that I am not able to be faster than, and it's not a chassis limitation. Now, maybe in Pro 1, that might be a different story.
Yeah.
But then again, what do we have? We have just
the only S13 in Pro
husband.
is Rudy.
Yeah, but he has moments of glory where he really shows that chassis is still competitive, and same in Drift Masters. Now, granted,
Drift Masters, I would argue, is a very, very different story than over here because you can rely on tire grip, and I think the biggest indicator of that is watching Connor Shanahan there versus here, and trying to make that same chassis work over here. There's a lot of research, and how many years did Jerry Yang have into his cars to make those competitive?
Right?
How much money does he have into those cars? Like, I feel like when you get to the pro level, chassis is so much more important in terms of the grip level, and why that's the only reason I kind of asked the question, because we don't see. In FD, we see very specific chassis now, or you're just not competitive.
Yeah.
Like a Ferrari, for example. Honestly, I still will die on the hill of like I would love to see him drive like an S15 and an E46 or something, just to see what he can actually do.
Yep, I agree. Yep. Federico is an incredible driver. That car, you want to talk about looks hard to drive. I don't know much about the car. Actually, Chelsea would know a good deal about it because he's helped him set stuff up before. But nothing looks easy on that at all. Yeah.
Yeah. But again, I mean, that is the upper echelon of the sport, and I mean, at that point, you got to get every little bit of performance out of it, and that's just kind of what you have to do. But I mean, we kind of briefly talked about it before we went live, and I thought what I like about drifting is you can have your style as well. There are so many different ways to get to a zone and to fill a zone that we've seen with different drivers, and that's kind of the coolest part. Like we talked about Chelsea's Mustang setup versus James Dean's championship winning Mustang setup are completely different. Same car, completely different. You watch Manoa drive around the track versus a Dylan Hughes versus a Matt Field. They all fill the track completely different.
Yeah.
And that's the cool part about drifting is you can kind of create your own way of getting around the track, as long as you're hitting the zones and you're not losing momentum in areas you're not supposed to, or at least not ways that judges see it. And so that's the cool part about drifting, and also it gives you great ways to argue about things. Who's better, Chelsea or Dino, or is it who's better, Chelsea's setup or Dean's setup on the Mustang? It's like that's a debate.
Let's ask this then: how many times has Dean beaten Chelsea when they battled each other?
That's a good question. I wish I knew that.
Yeah.
Probably could look it up.
You'd be surprised by the answer.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think Chelsea's ever lost to Dean in a battle.
That would be wild. Because
I'm pretty sure of it.
Because we're going to bring up a topic here in a little bit. And, you bring up a very interesting idea as well. Actually, screw it. Let's get into it. Because let's get into why I made the clickbait title. Because I'm not going to lie, I'm pumped for Poland. Let's just start out with Poland itself. The track is amazing. It is, but let's be honest, it is not a hard track. It is a very small track. Obviously, it's got walls, which you don't want to hit the walls. But in terms
I think it's pretty technical.
It's technical,
it's
but you're
not
by any
means.
It's not an FD track. Where
slower
you're going,
too, right?
it's not a Spain or anything like that where you're going super fast, and you definitely see a difference. I would even argue like a Riga really shows the men from the boys,
I would argue that because of how small and slow it is, you have to be so precise, especially in your chase and your lead.
Well, it's like a New Jersey over
slight,
here.
Yeah. I still think Jersey has its difficulties. I don't think it's an easy track by any means,
But what I'm saying is it's an interesting track because it'll bring a lot of people. I feel like, for example, a Matt Field is going to get his bearings real quick at a track like this where it may be a little bit more complicated. Say if you went to like Riga, for example, and drove that for the first time, which is good to see. But my whole stick was like, is this the closest thing we get to a World Cup? And, one could argue that we already have a ton of foreign drivers here in FD. You could basically call it that over here. I mean, you're probably missing Vicek. I would argue Dwayne McNamara in a working car. I'm sorry, Dwayne McKeever. What am I saying? Dwayne McKeever is in a working car, or like maybe a Lori Heinen and stuff like that. But over here, what I like is that it's the first time I feel like that the Americans are getting a real shot. I mean, obviously Adam ran the series last year, but he was kind of getting his bearings. I mean, he has had drastic improvement, I feel like, since that. And then you get like a guy like Matt Field coming in. I'm actually really pumped to kind of see how these guys do going into someone else's playground and playing around.
What car is Matt in?
He is in a Supra, so an A90. So that he asked me, he had the option between an FRS, Castro's old car, or that Supra. I told him to go with the FRS. I think for pretty obvious reasons, but I don't know. I guess he wanted to drive the new Supra that they made. So I was like, okay. I would have picked the FRS, the known chassis that he's driven, but
whose Supra is it? Isn't any of any significant?
It's a brand new one they built.
Yves Meyer.
He
built it. Those guys.
So Yves Meyer does have his own Supra that he drives in the series. It looks like a decent car, but like he's never been competitive really in it, or like up in the top of the field. So that's why that was one of the things I was like, okay, we'll see. But what I am excited for is obviously Adam's going to have his E36 there because that's still over in Europe.
Yeah.
Which will be really fun to see, and he's driven the track before, so he's going to know what to do. And then you get like João Barrion. Haven't seen that guy in a minute, but guy from Brazil coming over, so kind of going with the World Cup theme there. And getting some different names. And then you got Hiroya Minoa, basically, I would say Japan's next prodigy.
Yeah.
This is cool. I'm pumped. You get to see, like I said, possibly the closest thing we get to an actual World Cup of drifting.
Yeah, it would be cool if somehow there was like qualifiers to generate an actual World Cup of drifting between the top tier Japanese series, European series, and there is a pro Middle Eastern series, right?
Yep, there is.
Yep. South America, and then of course Formula Drifts for North America.
Yeah.
To somehow like,
because technically Adam and Matt are the highest placed Americans, so it would make sense.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well, and Dean is then, I guess, for Europe, and FD
he
qualifies
would be the Irish champion pretty easily.
I'm trying to like.
The problem is how many Irish guys can you pick from? Because you got James, you got Connor, you got Jack, you got Dwayne McKeever, you got you got kids like Connor Falvey coming up, like holy smokes. And then like,
I wonder what's in the water in Ireland.
It's the roads.
Yeah,
I've been to Ireland. It's the freaking roads, dude. They got insane speed limits on roads that have no reason to be anything above 20 miles an hour. They got. I'm just like, what? They're like 100 kph. Try to reach it.
There's an argument to be had. I know America's a much bigger country, but we seem to produce some pretty damn good drivers as well.
Oh yeah, well, like for America, it's people and money. We have that.
Yeah.
And you're gonna see in 10 years all of the best drivers in the world. Not all of them. I would say 85% of the top drivers in the world are gonna be American. I would
said in 10 years.
In 10 years, assuming economy stays similar.
Yeah.
And that's assuming that America doesn't fall and destroy itself or something. Just based on numbers. You go look at the Olympics. There's
if we're looking at the Olympics, that means China. We're gonna have China #1 drifter.
That's true. You make a really good point. I feel like China would actually.
The Chinese are taking over for drifting.
You make a good point. Actually. China might actually have something to say about that. I forgot. I always forget about them.
Brandon might know more than any of us about this, but for sim drifters, where do you? Is there like a actual worldwide ranking for like anything like that for sim?
Yeah, there's 2 series. There's Virtual Drift Championship and then Virtual Drift Masters. So Virtual Drift Championship, I feel, is the top of the 2. Alan Hines actually on that list at the bottom there. He won the championship this year for that series, and he drove for RTR in the virtual world, and he's driving the Lucky Day S15 in Poland. So he won he won the Irish Drift Series last year. So dude's a ripper, sim and real life. So I'm excited to see what he does.
I also want to. I forgot. I want to add one more thing to my point. In 10 years, they're all going to be like under the age of 20 as well. The top drivers.
I don't think that.
I
really?
Oh yeah.
I see drifting they're all going to be a young man's sport for sure.
It will be. It will turn into every other basically racing series. That's a high level.
Yeah. But you know what sucks about being the young guy? You're only the young guy for a few moments because you will be aged out. Because I used to be the young guy, and now I'm like the old fart, and it's hard for me to like come to terms with that. But it is undeniable. I got beat by a 13-year-old this freaking year in St. Louis at the seating bracket. So,
but what does he do?
And I had the one kid at LSFest. He was like 16. I don't think he's put a razor to his face yet, and I had to go against him before I got into grade 8. So,
I mean, just the facility, everything's going to be getting better and better, and kids are just going to be bred into the sport, just they are like any other racing series. And
do you think there'll be an age limit, like in the FIA with racing? You got to be 18 to be.
No, no, I don't think so. I don't know. Is there an age limit for F1?
Yeah, 18.
Is it? Now. Interesting. I didn't
know that. Used to not be. Yeah. Max Verstappen's always going to be the youngest because it came in after he did it because too many people complained is one of the things. But
interesting.
So hold on. I want Brandon to answer my question, though. We don't want to...
What?
About...
what I got last year?
How you do in sim, yeah.
I got 12th overall. Yeah, I got 12th overall this year. I missed a round. Had to miss a round, so that's my excuse. And then last year, I made every round, and I got 4th overall.
Damn. Okay. So you are actually the real deal.
I'm not
Yeah.
terrible. I think I'm not. Some people are way better, but I don't think I'm horrible.
I don't know. Your results say otherwise. You got 12th. You missed an entire
I
round.
know.
Now, which series is that you're getting on?
VDC. I wasn't able to do, which is Virtual Drift Championship. The Drift Masters one I wasn't able to do due to some, I guess, politics stuff, and then also it fell onto like 3FD weekends. So
Yeah.
either way, it wouldn't have made sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to get Forsberg to put a sim in one of his rigs. Maybe Alex can fit one in there.
There we go.
Be sick.
What do you mean political? It's tough to get a license or something to be in that series, or
Yeah.
I'm not
There's
gonna make
like
you exactly answer it.
they just picked the people. I
Okay.
guess they like the other series. You earn a license through feeder series, kind of like Pro Am series into Pro Spec or Pro Spec into Pro. Where
Yeah.
this, they kind of just picked people from previous years. A couple years ago in their series, I did all of them, and I got fourth overall again. Love fourth for some reason, but fourth overall again. Um, and then what do you call it? Yeah, last year couldn't do too many, only did a couple. And then this year I wild carded into one. In Drift Masters, it's very similar to real life, where if you get chosen as a wild card and you don't show up, you probably won't show up ever again because they're
Ooh.
very political with how you do it.
Ooh.
And that happened to me. I had something come up, wasn't able to show up, so I don't think I'll be able to do it again because they're the same
That sucks.
in the virtual world. Yeah. So is what it is, but we live another day. So
Yeah.
it's all right.
But I mean, it's what. But the point is like, that's kind of what the world's moved to. I mean, you get the thing is I feel like we're gonna get another 5 Hero Manoas in the next 5 years that are gonna come into the
100%.
series.
I think they're already out there. I think
Oh,
those
yeah.
guys. I think Dimitri's son is going to be one of the best drivers in America in the next 2 years. If you want my
Which is
opinion.
interesting because he's not doing it. I mean, he has a sim, but he also drives in real life as well a lot.
Oh yeah,
And
I was
same
speaking
with
to
Cameron, you know.
real life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cam he comes from sim, right? He's of course sim roots.
Yeah. But
I was
also
when I said that I meant actual real. Not that sim is not some form of real driving. Physical driving.
kind of known for the sim world. I feel like I don't know. Brandon, is he actually that good on the sim, Manoa?
He's all right.
Yeah.
He's. I think he's good. But like for the competition aspect, there's different nuances you need to you need to learn. And he's qualified for a couple, but like this year he showed up a couple times. I don't think he qualified for one, and then the other one he got placed into like they do a last 16 battles. So the last four spots in top 32 is filled from a top 16 of 29th to 44th in qualifying. So he had to land in that. I don't think he made it through.
Yeah. Phil asks, how much cheating happens in virtual drift comps?
That's a good question.
Not much. Pretty strict. There's different things that you can add where it's strict. All the cars are teched, and you can only run. There's two sets of like tires you could run, either 265 or 285, and you're locked into it. There's different things like your folder where all like the communication happens between the game, like what engine and suspension you have in the car. That's all locked, so you can't do anything. The only really thing you can do to cheat is like essentially if you were to remove like all of your rear and front crash structure and have like a foot and a half of like crumple zone, you could do that. But if it looks like your crumple zone's going like into like your rear wheel, you'll just get disqualified because they make sure that's all done too. So there's not too much drifting with or too much cheating with virtual drifting. So
yeah, no, it's it's definitely a different world out there. But
100%.
It like I said, it'll be interesting as drifting gets bigger and bigger because it is interesting. I do think drifting is getting bigger every year. I mean, you just look at the crowds that LZ World Tour can bring, and all that kind of stuff. I think it's just going to keep growing.
Yep.
I mean, there's organizations popping up all over the place. Like there's a new organization where I live, and they sell at every event. And it's not even nothing crazy. Like it's just standard. Like we're going on a go-kart track, and it's just like they're selling out 80 spots every time.
Yep.
It's cool.
My only fear for drifting is logistically it is difficult to keep, at least in the East Coast area, like around here, just there's neighbors to every racetrack. Like I remember Lime Rock last year, we had to worry about tire smoke at a thousands of acres large professional racetrack because of a few neighbors that love to call the EPA and places or things like that. I fear for the future of like real racing in general, especially in America.
I agree.
Yeah.
It sucks to see because it's like you build a house next to a track. It's like, what do you expect?
Right. Yes, I agree. It sucks that it only takes one or two loud enough voices to ruin a lot of fun for places. I don't know, I forget who or what has already been shut down. A lot of drag strips shut down, it seems like, as of late, like Atco Dragway in New Jersey. I don't know if that was more of an attendance thing or it actually, I think, was like the people in the town just got sick of hearing these cars race, even though this racetrack existed long before any of them. But
no, you're right. Like it's definitely a thing that's always in the horizon, but I feel like America also has so much space that people will build new tracks. I think I've seen a couple pop up near me as like new things that are being built all the time, and new tracks are starting to accept drifting, I feel like. So in terms of events, I feel like we've had more events than we've ever had before. To go to.
It's a shame. I had to leave LSFest early, but they all went over to the Corvette Museum that has a racetrack.
Dude, I couldn't believe they let you guys drift that.
I know, and I really badly wanted to go, but it was an 11-hour drive for me to get home, and I had been Legends of Drift, then Utah, and then LSFest Kentucky, and Haley and I looked at each other and we were like, we're craving our own bed right now. We got to get home. But the footage from it looks sick. And from what Nick Swan had hinted, it was like a, trial thing. If all went well, or it seemed like they were very interested and they wanted this as like the break the ice event. And it seemed like it went awesome. So it would be really cool.
That's a beautiful track. I've been over there a couple times to film some of the road racing, and it's right next to the Corvette manufacturing facility and all that kind of stuff, and where they test a lot of the vets and whatnot. But that looked like a really cool track, and some of the footage I saw that people were driving it. And it's like, but like stuff like that's I feel like happening quite a bit,
Yeah. Nice elevation changes and stuff, and it didn't look like anyone had to cheat their line to link the turns, at least that I was watching. So,
no, it's a like you said. There's I think I have a lot of optimism. Personally, it's just going to be navigating it, and there'll be wins, there'll be losses when it comes to that kind of stuff. But I'm trending in a positive direction at least. But yeah, so speaking, let's go back to Poland for a second in terms of, if we were going to have a World Cup, what names are missing from this Drift Masters event that you would add? And you have to give me 3 names, and they got to be from different countries. So I had a minute to kind of think about this in my head. So I'll go first. But my number 1 is going to be Frederick Osbo. I think he would have to be included somewhere in a World Cup. The other guy is, and I've actually debated because there's 2 Americans I'm kind of debating on between. But I think purely for like the just drifting as in general, I would have to pick Vaughn as the American I would pick, and I know people are probably going to disagree, but I just for now, it probably would change after he does 1 year or something, but I just feel like what he's done for the sport. And then the other guy, and I don't know if I'm cheating, would be Odie, which, I mean, I guess he's technically an American now, but he's also from somewhere in Europe that I don't remember right now.
Okay. It's good picks.
Yeah.
Brandon, you go next.
Could you repeat the question one more time?
Oh,
what was
come
the
on.
exact thing? I'm
three,
sorry.
Give me 3 drivers that are missing from this event in Poland, and they can't be from the same country.
Okay.
You want me to go and then you go?
I think a Brandon Sorensen would have been cool to see.
Dude, I was gonna say that too. Like shout out to Amanda. You know,
cool.
Here's what I will say about Amanda. I appreciate that she's bringing a lot of eyes to drifting in the sport, and the fact that she hasn't left drifting. Because she's had opportunities to go race electric Hummers and all kinds of other race series. But the fact that she's still sticking with drifting, I think, says a lot about what she wants to do. Granted, it might be the fact that she's with Connor Shannon as well. But beside the point, what I like is that she's bringing a lot of eyes to drifting. But I wish it was Brandon that was in that slot instead of her. Personally, just from a competition
Jason
side.
in chat gives such a good point. Fucking Hop will probably say it, but Jason in chat made a good point. I won't say it. But I'm gonna steal also from chat. I'm gonna steal Huge Angle Knick-Knack. That would be good. I'll say
he's
Sorensen,
one of those. He's one of those
Sorensen.
Kids that's like
he's a ripper.
He's gonna be good.
I'll who else? I guess I'll throw another Irish guy. Should I throw an Irish guy in there? I'll throw an Irish guy, Tomas Kiley. I think he would be pretty cool to see.
His car is so sick
out there too. Very cool
love his car.
Yeah,
one of the best. No offense, buddy, but Thomas Kiley's S13 is probably one of the nicest S13s I've ever seen.
No offense taken on that.
I mean, it helps when you run like a super rare Japanese body kit that's basically not replaceable. So,
I think Brandon already knows the first person I'm going to put on there. I'm a little biased, maybe, but I've heard many other people who do nothing but study, analyze, or revolve their life around drifting say Chelsea would be my American pick, obviously.
Yeah. I was going to go back to it, but then I'm like, I'm going to let Brian have this one, you know? I was going to revert off
Sorensen. If he can bring the car of his choice there, well, and you could say that about any driver, but even if he didn't get the car of his choice,
just let him drive Adam's car, for example. Like watching him rip in Adam's car.
Dude, at Legends of Drift, he had to go make it happen with Grant's car, which is a great car, but it is by no means a highly competitive car. It's, barely breaking 450 horsepower. Right. I don't think the nitrous was working for him. And he went up against Adam's brand new big block Beamer, and he gave it to him. So Chelsea would be my American pick. Everyone's sleeping on this name, but the Aussie himself, Luke Fink, would be
was the other one.
Yeah, because he is another one that can just like take a crescent wrench, pour the toe on any chassis he's given, and like embarrass everybody else.
Yeah.
Is Naoki in Drift Masters?
He
was.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's already in there, which ruins my third pick.
I saw an interesting one in chat. What about Higa?
Yeah.
In terms of Brazilian, like I think that's got to be your pick if you're Brazil. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
do I
no
count
offense
as
to Zhao,
Armenian?
but like Higa when he was here, he ripped.
Yeah.
But maybe
another.
You go, Brandon, talk, because I'm thinking.
Another guy in chat saying Gocha from Russia. Forgot about the Russians. You know, they got a lot of rippers
Yeah,
over
that's the
there.
thing. I haven't seen the Russians. I need to watch some of these streams because people keep telling me
You
about some of
gotta
these
see it.
Russian
It's
insane
on the
people.
dark web. You
Yeah.
know, because you can't watch it here. Actually, I think they stream it on YouTube now. I don't know
Wait, is that
what
real?
magical VPN,
We're
but
not even allowed to watch Russian drifting? Really?
no, I'm joking. They do stream it on. Yeah, they stream it on YouTube now. The magical VPN, I guess. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I've heard there's some really good drivers. Jack Shanahan was telling me about Russia, and he said like there are some rippers up there.
Yeah, I mean, he was the Ripper of the Ripper because he won the championship first time out. So
I wish we could have a time machine choice of like Daigo Saito 2009 ish,
right?
somewhere in that realm.
Yeah.
Not that he's not who he was then now, but I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I fell out of love for Daigo a bit. Some things from this year and other years past, but
Yeah.
old school Daigo would be a good contender.
Right. No, it's there's definitely a lot of people out there, but like I said, we're kind of having not the easiest time coming up with names, which is why I'm like,
yeah, because they're already there.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
and that's kind of the point I was kind of thinking. I was like, man, there are not many drivers I would add to the list that's in Drift Masters right now.
But those couple we mentioned, and then
big.
if we could repeat countries, like there are, Forsberg can't be slept on.
Right.
There's so many Americans we could choose, and maybe we are biased because we are American, but it does show that the list is short that we would have to make that like the true World Series or
dude,
World
it
Cup.
It would be cool to do like like an actual competition, do an American competition, do a like they already have. The thing is like Europe already has this system in place. They already have an Irish Drift Championship. They already got a Spain Drift Championship. They already have all that. So like that's already set up. We'd have to set up something here, to do it. But like it's pretty cool to kind of just think about, and like that's what I want to see at this event. Is I want to see, what are some of these guys at their height of their power right now able to do. And the next question
Motocross, they do it in a certain way. There's like even if the guys are racing in the American Series, when it comes to I forget what the event is, but it's an FIA World Motocross event. And then they just choose 3 riders from each country to go represent the country. And then they have a genuine like World Cup match for motocross, which is like pretty sick.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, the Americans usually dominate, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
We're obviously the best and coolest ever, but
I mean, the thing is people you got to think about too is we have population and we have money.
Yeah.
And when you deal with a sport that involves money, it's hard to beat that. But F1 actually seems to be the big differentiator, because apparently Americans just can't drive F1 cars.
Yeah.
They're too fat.
Thanks, Logan.
I know, right? But that is something kind of interesting to kind of watch and see the progression of the sport. But no, I'm just hyped for Poland. And the thing is like I know Drift Masters is gonna exceed my expectations when it comes to production level too, because they always do. And it's I can't praise that series enough. They do so many cool things. I'm just like, FD, can we do a little bit of it? Something, But I feel like this is going to be an obligatory question I ask every guest that we have on from the rest of the year now, though.
Okay.
What are we doing with qualifying versus seeding for next year? What do you think? What do you want to do?
What are we doing, or what do I want?
Well, you can't answer the one, so what do you want?
I love I love the traditional format for drifting. that was another thing. I should have brought it up earlier when we were talking about my little bit of struggles.
Yeah.
Because I am a good qualifying driver. I can always put together a solid lead that puts me within the top 10 qualifying order, or at least for the most part, everyone has their off moments. I get FT's reasoning for it. It's a great show, where I don't find qualifying boring, but I like drifting for different reasons than maybe your average fan. And I'm too close to the
Yeah,
sport.
people are like, I see car go close, I see car hit each other. It's cool.
Yeah,
It's cool,
right.
like let me see destruction.
So, and then like they get a good show out of it,
Yeah.
and there's more, and then it does, toss up some. It stirs the pot for the points race. Like,
I would argue it actually doesn't, but
you think
keep
so? It
going.
doesn't.
I think
Okay.
it hurts the scrambling of points as a whole.
Yeah, there's an advantage.
Because there's no way from anyone in seeding to qualify high, so they don't have to battle through seeding to get even to 32, or even get an easier battle in 32.
Yeah. Like at Jersey, I place second in seeding, and then I go against you're one of the top guys.
Yeah,
for
coming
32.
into season, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where in reality, like that kind of in my head justifies, I'm one of the good guys on this track. I should be going against one of the lesser guys on the track, but there's no more grading curve before the competition happens.
Yep.
The other thing I don't love about seating bracket is it is extremely hard on the car. We go through a full top 16 basically, and now that there's points involved, everyone's hungry for those points. So you're truly driving. There's no holding back. Like once you win your first battle and you're in the show, no one's like, oh, okay, maybe I won't do this. Everyone's like, no, wait, I have points I can obtain towards the championship here. And then that night, you have to turn the car back around and get ready for a full top 32 competition after that. So the consumables are crazy when it comes to doing a full seating and then making it even just to like 16 or grade 8 the next day. You've done more than the guy that went all the way and didn't have to do seating bracket. So I would love to see qualifying come back. I think if that were to happen, they're going to have to not issue as many licenses because of a timing issue. It just takes very long to go through a full field, especially the amount of licensed drivers there are, especially when it's a Pro 1 and Pro Spec event. So I think seating's here to stay if I were to guess, but my heart lies with qualifying.
I can tell you're not doing what we did this year. I know that much for sure. But
I would assume there's some alters that are going to be happening. Yeah. Too many people have complaints.
Yeah. No, I'm curious to see where things go. Definitely for next year.
If you were to guess, what do you think they're going to do to change it? Shoot from the hip, guess. Or do you know?
I think they'll do qualifying one lap and then a bottom 16 or whatever to get into the final spots or whatever. Kind of like what they did 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever they did that.
Yep.
I think that's what they would go back to as a compromise.
Cool. Yeah.
Because I think Drift Masters proved that having the top drivers battle doesn't work.
No.
Which is actually the next topic that I actually need to bring up is the actual points race for the series. And right now we got Connor Shanahan on top, not by much though, ahead of Peter Vicek. But all I want to say before we begin this conversation, and I probably should zoom in a little bit so we can see these points. Connor Shanahan has to give a massive thank you to James Dean for that. Because if Peter Vicek doesn't get crashed out of, was it Spain? I think this would be a very different story, and Vicek's probably running away with the championship.
Yeah.
Right now. So that is the first caveat. So I'm curious to see how this goes. But honestly, Peter's never actually won Poland. which is the interesting fact. And I don't think he's done particularly well. I think he's gotten a third in the past in Poland. So it's really up to him. He's got to beat Connor to win the championship. So it's really just down between them at this point. So it'll be really fun to watch how it all plays out and see if Peter can do it in front of his fans. Because, talk about a home crowd. Like,
yeah, right.
It's insane. Then we got Jack Shanahan in third, James Dean fourth. Talk about an off year for James Dean, and he's still in fourth place. It's like...
He's had every misfortune possible, it seems.
Yeah, and I think he's just figuring out the Mustang on that tire compound, and because even his Mustang over there drives different than his Mustang over here does,
big time.
pretty substantially as well. And that's a whole other topic. And if I ever get to interview James, it'll be like that's something I'd love to talk to about is, how. What's your priorities and setting up that kind of stuff, because it's very different. It's such an interesting. Even Connor, I'm sure goes through the same thing when he's and Jack when they're setting up their cars, but Connor's kind of a better solution because they're both 8.6s, and what Connor's struggles with this year of how do you set up a car that doesn't have tire to basically get you to where you need to go, right? But yeah, and then bunch of your Kevin Pisser, pretty close to actually James now that I look at it. But Kevin Pisser, Paul Korpelinski, Laura Heinonen, Tor Anikavia, and Oliver Randalou and Marco Zaccarul. Hey, the dude with the 4 cylinders in 10th, not bad.
Not bad.
I'm pretty sure that dude's blown up like 3 each event, but maybe not that many. But I've seen him. He's working on it, on the stream. Trying to keep 4 cylinders alive, I guess. They do a lot of weird stuff over there, though. There's a lot of one of the interesting things is nitrous is hard to get in places sometimes over there, aka illegal. So a lot of cars run anti-lag over there compared to nitrous. There's still quite a few people that run nitrous over there, but like I would say almost everyone, especially in the pro field, runs nitrous in FD. I think there's like maybe 1 or 2 people that don't, but I would argue pretty much everyone runs nitrous in pro now. Yeah, and it's not like that at all over there. So the cars actually sound pretty fun. Not many people run anti-lag anymore over here as well, just based on how hard it is on the engine and parts and everything. And
it's like I think Colette was one of the only ones definitely in Prospect that had anti-lag, and I don't even think she had it for the full season.
Right. I know they took it away actually, but it's just really hard on the engines, and also it's hard to manage when that car hits. Like, how do you manage how hard it hits? You really can't. You just kind of have to deal with whatever it comes. But that's kind of like how I've always felt about it. But again, it's a reliability thing that I know Kenguchi used to run it, and then I was talking to him, and he's like, yeah, it's just really hard in parts for how hard it hits and whatnot. So when you can just do something similar with nitrous and bring power in that way. But it's a cool series because obviously it's not dominated by what we have over here, and it's all a lot of 2J stuff, honestly, mostly 2J stuff. You get the Lori Heinonen NASCAR engine in there. I don't even think you got like Tor Anikavia, who's got the 1UZ turbo 1UZ car. That thing always cracks me up.
What? The 1UZ is competing in Drift Masters?
And the dude rips.
Yeah.
How much power is
an absolute animal. Like, I would honestly put Tor Anikavia on a similar level to Frederick Osbo in terms of driving skill.
Wow.
Like, he's just that good.
They kind of ripped off Osbo's nickname with him, but we'll let it slide.
Yeah,
the Norwegian sledgehammer. It's like, okay, guys, let's relax now.
But no, that dude's a ripper as well. But yeah, no, like the series, I'm excited for it.
Is that like a twin turbo 1UZ
No, single,
or
one big old turbo
one
on there.
big,
one giant
right in front of it?
Yeah. It's a weird sounding car, but
I was gonna say, I wonder what that thing sounds like.
yeah, just look up some Tor Ana Convia videos after this. It's a dude's an animal. But yeah, so my question is, who do you think is going to take the championship? And it's really an answer between Vychek and Shanahan, with the advantage to Connor, obviously. And Connor has won Poland before as well, in the past.
I want like the hometown hero to win Poland.
I just feel like that would be sick.
It would be.
Yeah.
Plus, he is one of my favorite drivers. Not taking anything away from Connor, but
yeah,
we'll go Vychek.
I feel like Vychek is one of the scariest drivers to drive against, because I don't see him mess up very often, but when he does, it always seems to be against Jack Shanahan.
It is, yeah. Jack Shanahan's like his kryptonite for some reason. I don't know what it is. Jack Shanahan gets in his head or something. You could see him like when they get out of the car with each other, Jack's like fucking with him. And Peter just has nothing to do with it.
I know some stories about them. I don't know what's public and what's not, though, so I can't really disclose that. But I know things have not always gone swimmingly behind the scenes with them.
I think, I don't know. I think Connor's going to win it, but Peter deserves it, that sort of thing. Or
that's
maybe
the tough
Peter's
thing, because
how
many points has Connor got because Peter's just dipped out of the Final Four competition every time, because
first
I think he's been
2
qualified
rounds,
in it.
Peter wasn't in contention in the first 2 rounds.
Yep.
It wasn't until round 4 and 5 when he won them back to back, and then last round getting pretty high up there. It's
impressive.
It's been very impressive from what they've been able to extract out of that car for sure.
Yeah. Which is why I've always been curious to see, the one thing that always bums me is I would love to see a Freddie Osbo run this series just to see what it's like where does he compare in terms of his Supra versus this one. And obviously there's going to be some drastic differences with weight and whatnot, but Peter's car drives so different than anything I've ever seen. The way it transitions, it's just
snappy.
It's yeah. It's like it drives with the front somehow. I don't know. Like, obviously you turn the wheels and it drives with the front of the car, but like I don't know. Just the pivot points just really forward.
Unless it's just the fact that there's so much tire that it can like almost overpower the front, and he has that as something that he uses to his advantage, like. And then it gives that illusion of that quick snap, like forward pivot point type pendulum look.
But what's cool is it's a different driving style than, say, a Connor Shanahan, who's probably one of the best transition drivers from Europe. Because I would probably put Chelsea as a really good transition driver as well. But Connor Shanahan's transitions might be second to none, but he does it in a way that almost is safe, or it doesn't look hard, if that makes sense.
Violent.
Because of the way that he transitions. It's not always at the craziest of angles when he drives, but it does look really good.
It's like more of a smoother yet aggressive approach. Someone like Chelsea, it's like violent is the word you would use when he's like on his game.
Right. And like it'll be really cool to see. Honestly, I'm hoping for a finals between these guys, because I think if they get a battle for all the marbles at the end of the day, I think that would be pretty sweet. Kind of like how Pro Spec ended up being. Like, talk about a wild Pro Spec round in Utah. Dude, like...
Yep.
that was so cool to see, because then we got to the Final Four battle, and it was a battle for everything. Yeah. And it was like, holy smokes, who thought this was coming?
I love Cody. I'm so happy for him and such. But my heart broke for Cole that weekend.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, and I'm sure I'll talk to him later about it, and we'll have a one-on-one and see what all happened. But yeah, I don't know. His car looked really hard to drive though in Utah.
Yeah, I know they had some struggles going on. What exactly it was, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's just that's the name of the game in motorsports sometimes. And the same goes for like how Cody ended up on top. He was just the most consistent with how he was finishing all year compared to everyone else. I love his
post where he's like, 350Zs aren't competitive.
I saw that. Yeah.
I mean, I still think there's an argument for that, but maybe not at ProSpec. But
curious if like all these guys are gonna make the jump, the ones that qualify to do so. Cody, Cole, Nate. I think Nate hinted at the banquet he's gonna make the jump. And Dimitri says if his son's doing ProSpec next year, which I'm not sure if he is or not, that he's gonna stick to just Pro 1.
I think he should just be in Pro 1, period.
Yeah.
I think his time has passed in ProSpec, and he should.
He likes shooting in the barrel. What can you say?
Well, I mean, the thing with it, I don't think it helps from a perspective from everyone else that he's still running the series. Like, I understand why he does it. Also,
I don't see why. I don't see how it helps his driving or his program doing.
He wants a license and to stay in pro, but I mean, like it's not like he's at risk of losing a license.
He doesn't suck in pro. You can get better at pro.
I think the man just genuinely loves driving so much that it's like he actually lives up to his slogan of never settling. Like, his stories stress me out. He's like leaving for across the country in about 12 hours, but we're changing the whole engine and stuff like that. It's like, oh my goodness, this guy legitimately never sleeps. And I forget he has a roofing company or something as well that he manages himself.
Yeah, he's on a different level, that's for sure. I mean, it's interesting though, the fact that team has gone through so many engines this year.
Yeah, how many? 2 or 3, right?
At least. I would say more than that compared to on both cars, or at least some version of something went wrong catastrophically.
Yeah.
To where I feel like he might be stretching himself too thin, and it's like, dude, focus on one. I've always been the proponent of you got to focus on one series. I remember talking to Rudy Hansen after he ran both series, and he's like, I am not doing that ever again.
Yeah.
Because
I can imagine
what those weekends I don't think his year got much easier this year though with Shelly, to be fair. I mean, he's not driving, but boy, she got in. If there was someone to hit somebody, she was getting hit.
Yeah. The girls got beat up pretty bad.
It was wild. Even a place where there's very few walls to hit, Amanda still finds a way to destroy a whole side of her suspension.
Man, that was scary. That she's lucky she stayed on all 4 for that one, because I remember seeing that car come back on the flatbed in hot pit, and I was like, "What just happened?" We were working on our own car or whatever, so we kind of missed that battle. And then I saw the footage after the fact, and it was it was intense, to say the least.
I mean, another totally flukes incident, though. Not Shelly's fault at all. There's just a bottom of a clipping point in the middle of your zone.
Yeah.
Fun. And, but yeah, no, it was a wild year for that team. I mean, it doesn't even get into behind the scenes thing of their whole pit flooding in Orlando, for example, or,
I didn't know about this.
Oh yeah, Orlando had some pretty bad flooding, and they lost a bunch of electronics and stuff in Orlando because their pit was under a foot of water.
Damn.
This is the Hansons, or this is
Hansons.
Hansons. Damn.
Yeah. So that was wild.
A lot of pits got lost in Jersey.
And then talk about that.
Say that again, man.
Dude.
I almost got caught in the center of the stadium, stuck by myself because seating bracket just ended. They barely even celebrated that seating bracket happened because like the storm was coming, and I went to start my car, and the starter was like heat soaked, and I shut off the car when it was hot, and I couldn't start my car, and everyone already had abandoned the stadium, and I forget if it was like Rob RV Media, I think it was him. And I was like, man, you have to help me push start this car. And he got it moving like half a mile an hour, and I like popped it in first. And I think like the wing like hit him in the stomach, and I like jump started the car and hightailed it out of there. And he like was waddling and running with his camera gear out of the stadium. We were like the last two to leave. Oh man. Pulled in my tent, and then we all had to hold the tent down. We were like floating above ground, holding this like kite that was once a tent.
Yeah, no, it's that event was, I don't know if it competes with St. Louis all those years ago, but boy, that was
I remember that footage. That was a legitimate, both of them were legitimate tornadoes, right?
Yeah.
Legitimate. Yeah. All I'm
I don't know. There wasn't
it's lucky that there weren't more trees around the pit area.
Yeah.
Because I heard the parking lot was bad.
We're also lucky that plane didn't crash into E-Town.
The plane was sketch. Saw that. Saw it flying over.
Whatever happened? Was there ever actually?
It landed.
It did.
One of our friends who's pretty tism about airplanes found like the video camera of the airfield taking off and it landing. So it landed back somehow.
Oh, that's funny.
Imagine being in that airplane, like
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but
sketch.
I mean, that was an event for the time. But I mean, I feel like it's always FD every year. There's always one that's just like, what the hell happened there?
Yeah.
Whether it was, I mean, was it this year that Herbie almost got smoked by lightning?
Like, really?
Yeah, like the stream, you can just see it in the background, and he's like. And it's like the meme of like, I'm in danger. Yeah, it was this year. And then we had to go under the bleachers or whatever. But it's always fun times out in FD. You always get some of the little bit of the craziness every year. But coming out of this year, what's kind of the thing that you came away with your rookie season in FD? Like what's something you learned, kind of came with as a rookie, because I feel like you learn a lot as a rookie.
Yeah. The number one thing I learned was that drifting is probably about 95% mental, 5% skill, because I was riding that 5% skill all the years prior. And then my mental game really got challenged. So I have a good solid plan this winter, fall and winter, to like building up my mental prep for next year. Because I think the driving is there when I'm in the right headspace. My driving is there to be a top contender. It's just I really underestimated how much mental strength it takes to perform on this level of stage, or whatever, this higher of a stage, professional.
Hell yeah. I mean, it's one of the underrated things, and we do talk about it quite a bit on here, is the mental side of drifting.
Important.
And it being one of the most, even drifting compared to other motorsports, because in other motorsports you have another lap usually to get a lap time. You have multiple laps to try and get a lap time. You have usually, like, it's not like a one and done thing. Like, you have next lap to make that pass usually, or do something. Like, it's not one and done where you literally practice for 30 seconds in a weekend. Like, you spend 2 days practicing for 30 seconds, and it's like, I don't know if there's another motorsport that's going to compete quite like that. Usually, obviously, with like drag racing, even it's short, but like usually you have multiple runs of qualifying to get it
And
right.
drag racing has a lot of variables, but I would be willing to bet drifting has the most versatile like lap out of any motorsport ever. Like
Oh
you
yeah, what you're
just
doing with the car?
yeah, and it's
How many time you use all three pedals?
yeah. There was a couple points this year I used all three pedals, not necessarily in FD. I know during Grid Life Atlanta, I went like way hot into from the back straight going back up the hill in the pouring rain, and I think every button in the car got pushed. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the cool part about drifting. I think I was doing some videos for some people, and they're just talking about brakes on the car and how important it is to set up that kind of stuff for
Yeah.
what you're trying to do, because you don't brakes on a drift car, I would argue, are different than pretty much any other car in the world. When you talk about brake bias and all of the things that you want, whether it's you want almost all brake pressure in the front, or do you want how do you want your handbrake? Do you want it super short and immediate? Do you want some play in it? Like there's so many different options even when it comes to that side of drifting that a lot of people don't even think about. But yeah, no, dude. I mean, I guess we kind of we're almost to the end of the 2 hours here, but I do have to ask the other question that I ask all of our guests that we have on here, and I know you're a rookie, but this might become before you. Story might come from before you're a rookie. Do you have an Andy Luck story?
Do I have an Andy Luck story
that you can legally tell us? I always have to add that caveat because most stories with Andy Luck aren't legal. It seems like that I've heard.
I do have an Andy Luck story. It's from this year.
Yeah.
Basically, I don't know. Ignored my existence would be a good way of describing how he treated me. But in reality, it's just the way he is. Maybe one word here and there passing throughout the whole season. And then at the banquet, he came up to me and he's like, "Are you all right, man?" And I was like, "I've had better years in drifting, man, dude." And he like patted me on the shoulder and he was like, "It's all right. No problem. You're good. Don't worry." And I was like, "Well, if you have me back, I'll be happy to show you that like I am better than this." And he like just gave me some form of like head nod, not actual verbal, but like, "Don't worry, man. You're allowed back." And I was like, holy shit, was he just nice to me? And I like was in this daze, like, all right, maybe that guy actually does like me.
He's like Master Oogway.
Yeah.
You know?
That's funny. Yeah. No, he's a character, and I mean he's offered to come on and stuff, and I'm like, dude, there's no way we can have you on.
Why?
Why not? Wait,
because we'd have to shut the stream down within 5 minutes.
Nah.
We had Matthew Bystrak on. 5 minutes in, he called prospect drivers WNBA players, dude.
Yeah, well, you can do that. You just can't call out all of the illegal stuff that people have done in the past that have lives still.
That's fine.
So
I don't think he'll go to that crazy of an extent. I do have one more good Andy Luck story. Yeah. I watched him throw a full pie of whipped cream at Ricky Hoffman for his birthday or something like that, and that was pretty solid.
Yeah. He has fun every once in a while. It's a good time.
Yeah.
All right. I just want to quick check out our poll here. Quick ends, and actually kind of surprisingly, 64% saying Peter Vicek are going to take the win for the championship this year. And I guess there's a lot of what's the word? Backing of Vicek. And I honestly I understand. Like I feel like this is the year that he's finally got that car 100% to where he wants it.
Yep.
Because that's always the challenge. And I mean, developing a new car, especially a new chassis like that, I'm sure is difficult. And with how known like difficult those cars are to drive. So shout out to him. I've worked a lot with like Simon Olsen this year, for example, and just them learning the chassis again all over basically, and getting that thing or getting that chassis like to like an easily drivable state that does what you want it to, kind of thing. Which honestly I think he's got it down now, but it definitely took him like a good 4 or 5 rounds to really get the potential out of a car like that. But kind of brings me to one final question before we end it off here. And guys, if you have any questions for Brian, I haven't really had a chance to look at the chat at all, and you guys have been saying a lot of shit.
Too many questions, just a lot of talking.
But if you got any questions for Brian, get them in before we end the show here.
Chat. How much shit talk's going on here?
Yeah, but if there is a chassis, if you could pick another chassis to build, no money, expenses, what are you picking? Is it still an S13?
No, it's not. I mean, I've already done.
Yeah.
How much more money can you dump in an S13 without,
Right. No, I mean, you're right.
You can put a Roush Yates in it. There we go. That's more money.
And it's one of the nicest S13s I've seen, I'll be honest.
I would say, man, I don't want to say S15 because I can make my S13 drive like an S15 now. Like we have the capabilities, we have the technology. So I'm gonna go different. There was a point in time because I used to own an A90 that I was going to strip it down and do the full Monty to it, and I still do want to do that. So I'm gonna say A90 Supra.
Wow.
With a 2J.
Yeah, I mean, they do look amazing. Like every time I see those cars, they're just with the big kits on them. Like Peter's looks amazing. I like how Simon's looks a lot.
I just love how they look in drift with the right guy driving it. Like you were describing how Peter drives his. It's like it's just awesome to watch.
Yeah,
it's really cool. Yeah. Awesome. Brandon, what's going on with you? How's the business going? You still pretending to drive virtually?
Yeah. Well, actually, I'll be driving in the next few weeks. Buddy's building a E90 street car, and he wants me to drive it at like local
like
events.
A real life. Like you're actually
sure.
You're like coming out of you coming out of the living room.
I guess coming out of the shop and stop driving there or the room.
Better watch out. The sun's pretty bright. You don't want to.
I know. Yeah. I know. I gotta buy a helmet and I'm gonna buy him tires and fuel, which shouldn't be much because all it is it's an N52 A90, so 99 54, just like 200 horsepower. Got some BCs on it. Wisefab narrow in the front. It's fully sealed, all that good stuff, all the maintenance stuff to make it reliable.
Sounds like a solid car.
Yeah, solid little car. He really wants me to buy it in like a month, and I'm like, well, let's relax now. Might have to, but we'll see. But yeah,
You'll buy it. Don't worry.
That. Yeah, probably will.
Soon as the dude's smart. He's like, yeah, take this kid drifting.
He's like,
take this kid drifting. He'll for sure buy it. Like. He'll be like, I need to drive now.
Real-time experience with drifting, or is it mostly all sim?
It's been all sim. Now, I've had a couple like maybes, like Novak's local just has been. I can't fit in his car. He's a big boy.
Yeah,
so that's his issue. I was gonna drive Alex's S13 last year, but then his axles broke, so that happened.
Man, I'll let you drive my brown car.
I would love to. Yeah. That would be such a fun car to drive. S13 little LS, that'd be sick.
The thing's got a Winners in it. It's full Wisefab, and it's like 450 horsepower. You like can't break the car.
That sounds like a good ass time. Is what that sounds like.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll hold me to that. The next time you're around that car, I'll let you drive.
I'll hold you to it. All
right.
Yeah.
When you have to defend me when the peanut gallery gets on my case.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
Fair trade.
He's like, fair trade.
There we go, fair trade.
We did get a question from Jonathan. What car do you think is the next biggest drift car that's not necessarily a thing yet?
Not yet a thing, huh?
Well, that's the problem. Is I don't know of a new chassis that makes sense other than like the new, what is it, FRS B or Z? What is the GR86 now?
The GR86. Yeah, but that's already becoming a thing.
I mean, there's certain requirements for like popular drift cars.
Yeah.
And there's not too many new cars now that meet that requirement. One being rear-wheel drive and a manual.
Man, you know what might actually become the next big thing is fucking Teslas.
Dude.
WiseFab's already got kits out for them, and they have whatever software updates are needed and what have you.
That's hilarious.
Could be cool.
I'm wrong. Don't say that's cool, Brandon.
No.
I'm not driving the brown car anymore.
No, don't worry. I do show up in a Tesla to drive, maybe.
Yeah. No.
They are intriguing. It's not cool, but it is like, is it, like...
It's cool-ish.
Is it like, I don't know, you can get them pretty cheap, and...
Yeah.
I don't know. If you like hot lap it, is it going to blow up though? Because they just spontaneously combust sometimes, you know?
Like my iPhone gets hot when I put it on like a wireless charger too long. Like, all I'm sitting on is 4 wheels and a giant iPhone battery. Is that going to just explode from my battery?
And how long can it last on track before you need to charge it?
Yeah.
Can you charge it at the track?
I don't know, man. I don't like anything newer than like 2010. I feel like at this point, like for me, it's just anything old. Maybe I'm just old. I haven't gone with the times.
Yeah.
Well, there's something to be said about the tried and true chassis out there from the beginning of drifting for most of us. Like, are still the relevant, like, good superior chassis. E36, S13, S15. 14, and then Corvettes are like incredible now, and 370Zs.
Actually, it's got me thinking though. You know what car I am seeing now popping up everywhere? Our New Edge and like the previous generation of that Mustangs.
Yeah.
They're popping up everywhere because you can get those things for dirt cheap, and they don't take a lot to make work.
No, work. Beyond the like beginner to grassroots level, it takes a whole lot.
Yes. But Adam Heischman has proved that there is a lot you got to do to get that thing actually competitive. But from like a grassroots level, those things are, and like as long as you don't put power into them, they're pretty bulletproof.
Yeah. Yeah, his car rips. So.
But no, I just thought I say that because I don't go to too many grassroots events now, but the ones I do go to drive, it's like, wow, there's a lot of these things running around.
Yeah.
And then I see someone with like a stock body S13 that's relatively clean, and I'm like, dude, that thing is like $30,000. What are you doing?
Get that thing off of the track.
He's in a different tax bracket, that's why.
No, and it's like this kid, like they're always these young kids, and like maybe the paint's a little sun damaged or something. I don't know where they get these things from. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? This thing is worth so much.
I have a completely perfect condition coupe shell just there for like whenever the brown car, I guess, finally meets its demise, which I thought it did numerous times. And I have it actually stacked on top of a Jeep in my shop to save space, like
that's
on
amazing.
blocks. In the corner. I'll post a picture of it at some point soon.
That's hilarious. Yeah, no. Yeah, it's crazy what, scarcity brings and whatnot, but any other things like where can people find you out at? Any final thoughts? Obviously this year has been, like you said, your worst drifting year of your career, but I feel like it's probably
it's ending on a high note so far.
Ending on a high note, and I feel like you've learned more than
I've said it to a lot of people. I don't know if I've said it on here yet, but even though the results don't show it, like when I get into other situations with in other drift events with either the red car or my brown car, I feel that I know I am a better driver. Like my reaction time is way better. My ability to do things is much higher than it was this time last year. I think it's proven itself a little bit with my last successful drift event at LSFest, and then yeah, I'm like It sucks that I didn't get like into grade 8 or 16 and stuff, but I really am hopeful for next year. And then most of
I mean, honestly, we'll see it. We see it every year. We see guys drastically improve from. Like I said, I think Nick Jimenez won Rookie of the Year last year, and he was like 17th or 18th overall last year. Like it wasn't. And then all of a sudden now we got Stewart up near the top. You got a whole bunch of those guys now looking way better. So I have, in my opinion, I have no doubt that you'll be up there.
Yeah, fighting, I think so too.
Fighting.
I'm too dedicated to doing my best, and I know what I did wasn't my best, so I'm determined. The best place to find me would be probably Instagram at Brian Hop. And then MA Motorsports is always posting. I always have something going on within their shop. So but anything cool that they're building, they usually put on their YouTube channel. So there's a lot to check out cool there.
Stuff there. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of my friends keep telling me to do a YouTube channel, but for the most part, I'm just in a construction job site doing something there. So that's kind of
because that actually
maybe you could do you could do like construction vlogs, hour-long construction vlogs. Have a whole audience of just like those types of people,
Dude, those guys are harsh people. They'll be like, "You didn't run that bulldozer right on that grade, and I know better than you." It's like, all right, probably do. I'm just trying to get home so I can go work on my fucking drift car, but.
Yeah, sweet. No, 100%. Well, thank you, buddy, for coming on. It was kind of funny. It was like I was talking to Cody Buchanan. He's like, "Hey, I can't make it, but Brian can." I'm like, "Fuck yeah, let's have Brian on then."
Yeah. Fun fact: he texted you that I could do that, and then he looked over at me and said that I was doing that. He was like, "By the way."
That's funny. Yeah, I think there was earlier in the year. I think I was supposed to have Rob reach out to you, and I think like it got lost in translation with him. Because you know how sometimes it is working with Rob. Things sometimes get lost up there, and
man, he might have lost some more of that from Utah. He got smoked in the head.
Holy smokes, that's right. I mean, we did talk a little bit at last show, but yeah, Rob is an absolute trooper, getting beamed in the head with a rock.
No, he was like smiling the next day, the whole day. I was like, "What the hell is wrong with you, man?"
I think it made him smarter. No, I'm just. But thank you guys for checking out.
Back in.
Yeah, thank you guys for checking out the stream. Brandon, you kind of went over your stuff. Go check him out. He's got sim racing stuff. Obviously, check out Brian Hop and his career as he's just getting started. Even though, don't let the gray hair fool you guys. He's got a long career ahead of him still. And yeah, guys, thank you again for watching. If you guys like the stream, be sure